It's Sunday, the game is on, everyone around you is screaming at a screen, painting their faces, crying over scores. And you? You don't care. Not even a little. People look at you like you're broken. How can you not care? They ask. It's the championship. But here's what psychology says. People who don't obsess over sports aren't missing out on passion or community. They might just have a different wiring, one that prioritizes authentic participation over vicarious achievement. And that difference reveals something fascinating about identity, tribalism, and what truly makes us feel alive. Before you assume that not caring about sports means you're boring, antisocial, or not a real fan of anything, let's be clear. This isn't about hating athletes or judging people who love sports. It's about understanding why some brains simply don't get the dopamine hit from watching strangers compete. Research in psychology and neuroscience shows that people process achievement, belonging, and entertainment in radically different ways. For some, watching a game feels electric. For others, it feels pointless. So what's really going on in the mind of someone who just doesn't get the sports obsession? First, people who don't obsess over sports often have what psychologists call a direct achievement orientation. When a team wins, fans feel like they won. Their brains release dopamine as if they personally scored the goal. That's vicarious achievement, living through someone else's success. But for non-sports people, that circuit doesn't fire. Their brains ask, what did I personally accomplish? Did I improve? Did I create something? Watching someone else succeed, no matter how skilled, doesn't trigger the same reward. It's not that they lack passion. They just need to be the ones doing it, not watching it. That's why they'd rather play a sport than watch it or skip it entirely and build something real. Second, they don't connect with sports tribalism. Sports fandom is rooted in tribal psychology. Humans evolved to bond with their group and compete against the enemy. That's why people wear team colors, chant together, and feel genuine anger when their team loses. But people who don't care about sports often see that tribalism as manufactured. They think, why am I supposed to hate people from another city because of a game? I didn't choose this team, I was just born near them. It's not that they're incapable of loyalty or community. They just need those bonds to be based on shared values, real relationships, or mutual effort, not geographic coincidence and brand loyalty. To them, sports fandom can feel like nationalism for entertainment, and their brains just don't buy in. Third, their brains are wired for different types of stimulation. Some people get their dopamine from competition, unpredictability, and tribal belonging. Others need creativity, problem-solving, or narrative depth. If your brain craves complexity, emotional nuance, or intellectual challenge, watching grown adults chase a ball might feel unstimulating. Not because it's inferior, but because it doesn't activate your reward system. And here's the proof. A University of Michigan study found that people with higher need for cognition, those who enjoy deep thinking, are 40% less likely to follow professional sports. Their entertainment preference leans toward puzzles, storytelling, art, strategy games, or hands-on creation. You're not defective. Your brain is just hunting for different dopamine sources, and that's completely valid. Fourth, they see sports obsession as a poor return on time investment. Think about it. The average sports fan spends 6 to 8 hours per week watching games, reading stats, debating players. That's 300 plus hours per year. People who don't care about sports look at that number and think, what could I build, learn, or experience with 300 hours? It's not judgment, it's priority alignment. They're not anti-fun or anti-relaxation. They just want their leisure time to feel personally meaningful, whether that's creating art, learning skills, traveling, or connecting deeply with people. For them, watching other people play doesn't feel like relaxation. It feels like wasted potential. And that's not wrong. That's just a different value system. Of course, there's a difference between not caring about sports and being judgmental about people who do. If you genuinely don't care, that's fine. Live your life. But if you feel superior, mock sports fans, or make it part of your identity to hate popular things, that's not independence. That's insecurity. Healthy indifference means you don't need sports, but you don't need everyone else to stop either. Let people have their joy. Just don't fake enthusiasm to fit in. Authenticity matters more than belonging. So next time someone asks, "Did you watch the game?" and you say no, and they look at you like you're an alien, remember this. You're not missing the community experience. You're just choosing different communities. You're not passionless. You're just passionate about things you can touch, build, or grow. You're not broken. You're just wired to find meaning in participation, not observation. If you're someone who genuinely doesn't care about sports and finally feels understood, drop a comment. Not my thing, and that's okay. And if you love decoding why people think, feel, and behave so differently, hit subscribe, because here we don't just follow trends, we understand what drives them. Your indifference isn't a flaw. It's just proof that fulfillment looks different for everyone.